South Carolina just claimed the top spot once again as America's fastest growing relocation destination, with thousands coming from high-cost states like New York. But it's not just retirees anymore. Families, remote workers, even business owners are packing up for a fresh start. I helped hundreds of people make this move, and the pattern I'm seeing is fascinating. The tax savings alone can put 6 figures back in your pocket. But wait until you see what $1 million buys you here versus Brooklyn. Hi, I'm Sarah Newman, a top 3% real estate agent and founder of the Elevate team here in Charleston, South Carolina. Today, we're looking at the facts as well as sharing our personal boots-on-the-ground experience working with people who are relocating here every single day. And for those of you who are return viewers to the channel, first of all, thanks so much for watching and being here regularly. And second of all, you'll notice that I have a new cat right here. His name's Finn. He'll be making an appearance because he loves people and being on my lap and being on my desk. So just don't mind him when you see him in the background of this video and future videos. All right, so more than 1 million people have left New York since 2020. Here's what's pushing them out. Taxes are draining people dry. Housing costs are completely out of control, and overall quality of life has declined. The Fiscal Policy Institute found something fascinating. Working and middle-class residents leave New York at 4 times the rate as wealthy residents. Translation: the exodus isn't driven by rich people avoiding taxes. It's everyday families who can't afford to stay. The cost of living in New York City runs about 70% higher than the national average. For a single person, monthly expenses can easily hit $7,600 just for rent, utilities, food, commuting, and basic. That's insane. The New York City property tax rate for 2025 shows Class 1 residential properties taxed at 20.085%. Class 2 properties, residential buildings with 3 or more units, co-ops and condos, are taxed at 12.5%. When you combine the sky-high costs and declining quality of life, and by the way, this is not a judgment on my part. This is something that clients calling me specifically say. So these are words right out of their mouth. People reach a breaking point. They're saying, you know what, I'm done. And when they start looking at alternatives, the numbers in South Carolina completely change the conversation. Let me show you what I mean. Okay, so New York State income tax ranges from 4% to 10.9% for the highest earners. And if you live in New York City, you're also paying local income taxes on top of that, up to 3.876%. Now, South Carolina does also tax income, but here's the key. The top rate for 2025 is 6%. So even the highest earners are paying up to 5% less here than in New York. And you're not stacking city taxes on top. Let me show you the property tax numbers next. Property taxes in New York average 1.54% of a home's assessed value. In many counties, property taxes exceed $10,000 per year. South Carolina's average is 0.53%, which is about a third of the cost. Charleston County's average property tax rate for primary residents is about 0.425%. Let me put that in real terms. On a $500,000 home, you'd pay about $2,125 per year in Charleston versus $9,625 per year in New York City. For a $1 million home, Charleston property taxes would be about $4,250 per year compared to $19,250 in New York City. Now, let's talk about housing costs. The median home price overall in Charleston is $645,000. And stick around because I'll break down some of the different areas in the Charleston metro later on. Now, in general here, you're getting way more house, land, and better features, and you're paying a fraction of what you'd pay up north. The savings you're pocketing on taxes goes even further when the housing itself costs less. Saving $15,000 a year on property taxes is great. But what if I told you it also buys you 209 sunny days per year instead of gray, dreary winters, and that you could be 20 minutes from the beach instead of an hour subway ride to anywhere? That's not a trade-off. That's an upgrade on every level. Now, before we move on, if you want to know more about life in Charleston and get a clearer sense of why so many people are moving here, my team and I would love to help guide you and find the right place for you to call home like we have helped so many others. All the information is in the description below, so go ahead and reach out. You could also fill out a discovery form on our website at elevateteamcharleston.com/start and we'll be in touch. All right, so here's the deal. Charleston has almost year-round warm weather with mild winters. Summer temperatures average in the 80s and 90s. Winter highs average in the 60s with lows in the 30s and 40s. It's rare if we get snow or ice. It seems like we do about every 8 years. There's no scraping your windshield at 6 a.m. here, or shoveling a path just to get out of your driveway, or busting your butt as you slip on black ice on a sidewalk. Which, yes, I have done when I lived in Virginia. You can be outside nearly year-round here. Beach activities, water sports, golf, boating, outdoor dining. Charleston offers multiple beach options: Isle of Palms, Folly Beach, Sullivan's Island, and Kiowa Island. The downtown historic district is walkable. Most attractions, restaurants, and cultural sites are within walking distance. Charleston has earned national recognition as one of America's top food cities. South Carolina's overall tax structure is favorable compared to many other states. Fewer regulations and less red tape. That combination of financial savings and lifestyle upgrade is pulling thousands of New Yorkers a year to Charleston. Get this, our region now welcomes about 42 new residents every single day. When you can save tens of thousands of dollars on taxes annually and have an improved lifestyle like living close to the beach, the decision starts making itself. Now, you think with all these benefits that Florida would be the obvious winner for people leaving New York. But that's not what's happening on the ground. A lot of people move from northern states down to Florida, realize it's not quite what they expected, and then relocate about halfway back to the Carolinas or Georgia. There's a term for this. It's called a halfback. I've worked with several people who lived in Florida for years after originating in New York and then ended up moving to South Carolina. It happens all the time. But why? Florida has gotten incredibly expensive. A lot of communities have multiple community fees. For example, a POA and an HOA. POA is Property Owners Association, and HOA is Homeowners Association. POA is more like the master association that pays for your shared stuff, like any private roads, main gates, big amenity campuses, landscaping along boulevards, security, etc. The HOA handles the covenants, common areas inside that neighborhood, maybe some small amenities. If there's a POA and an HOA, you pay both. Now, we do have a few areas here in Charleston that has a similar structure, but we don't call it a POA. We just call it a master HOA versus a neighborhood HOA. But typically the fees are pretty reasonable. And a lot of places don't have the structure at all. It's just one main HOA. Even though there's no state income tax in Florida, the property taxes are extremely high to compensate. Once people do the math, it doesn't always make sense financially. Then there's the hurricane factor. Florida gets hit hard every single year, and insurance in recent years has typically been more expensive than South Carolina. The extreme heat and lack of seasonality is another thing. Charleston offers the coastal lifestyle without Florida's more extreme challenges. The property taxes are much lower, the weather is comparatively milder, and hurricane exposure, while definitely still a risk, is lower if you look at historical data and where the storms tend to hit most frequently. Insurance costs are typically more manageable than Florida too. According to U-Haul's 2024 Growth Index, South Carolina ranked number 1 for inbound moves, with more than 51.7% of all moves being arrivals. Florida came in 4th. People are voting with their moving trucks, and they're choosing Charleston over places like Tampa, Miami, and Fort Myers. So now that you understand why Charleston is winning, let me show you exactly where these New Yorkers are landing once they get here. Because location within Charleston matters just as much as making the move itself. If you've got school-aged kids, this next part is likely a huge determining factor for your Charleston experience. The school district you choose doesn't just affect your children's education. It impacts your property values, your social circle, and your entire family's integration into Charleston life. Of course, you can always opt for private schools, which means that you don't have to live in a certain district because you would be responsible for transportation to those schools. But for today, I'm going to talk about public schools. Here we have something called magnet schools. A magnet school is a public school with a specialized focus, like the arts, Montessori, STEM, etc. But it isn't limited to your neighborhood zoning. The students apply to attend, and then seats are often filled by a lottery system, or sometimes a lottery system with some kind of criteria that the students have to meet. The Academic Magnet High School in Park Circle in North Charleston ranks number 2 for top-rated public high schools in South Carolina. But again, since students from all over the county attend this school based on applications, it's less directly impactful to property values in the immediate vicinity compared to other areas of Charleston. Though, of course, Park Circle is a desirable area, and if your child goes to that school, then it is definitely convenient to be close. As far as more traditional public schools go, where attendance is based solely on location, Wando High School in Mount Pleasant is rated the 13th best public high school in South Carolina, according to niche.com, and the Lucy Garrett Beckham High School, also in Mount Pleasant, is rated number 18. This public school system is why some families target Mount Pleasant first as a suburb for relocating. The median home sale price in Mount Pleasant is $935,000, up 7.5% year over year. Mount Pleasant's location is unbeatable. You're just over the bridge from downtown Charleston, and also just minutes from the beaches, Isle of Palms, and Sullivan's Island. The area has multiple golf communities, waterfront living options, great dining, and comprehensive shopping at places like the Mount Pleasant Town Center. That price premium buys you proximity and prestige. For families prioritizing top-tier schools and beach access, Mount Pleasant delivers both. In a bit, I'll explain what surprises people most when they move here. More on that soon. Now, here's where affordability enters the conversation without sacrificing quality. Somerville delivers a mix of traditional classic neighborhoods and a plethora of new construction opportunities with modern amenities at prices that shock most New Yorkers. In fact, Berkeley County, home to master plan communities like Nexon, Cane Bay, and Carnes Crossroads, is the second fastest growing county in South Carolina. The overall Somerville median home price is $360,000. In the Nexon community specifically, it's closer to $530,000. Nexon Elementary School in Berkeley County receives a Great Schools rating of 8 out of 10, and Dorchester School District 2 consistently ranks among the top-performing public school districts in South Carolina. Here, you're able to buy brand new homes with contemporary floor plans, resort-style amenities, and highly rated schools for less than half of what you'd pay in Mount Pleasant. Families who run the numbers often realize that they can afford significantly more house here while still accessing quality education and lifestyle features. This leads me into what catches most New Yorkers off guard when they first get here. Wait, I can afford a 2,500 square foot house with a yard and a pool? That's the first thing out of a lot of New Yorkers' mouths when they see what their budgets can get them here relative to what they're used to. Coming from tiny apartments and cramped townhomes with 0 yard space, the square footage alone feels surreal. You're not making compromises anymore. You're getting your wish list for less money than what you'd spend on a 2-bedroom condo in Brooklyn. Or if you live out on Long Island, where a fixer-upper alone is $750,000, you can definitely get more bang for your buck here. How relaxed everything feels catches people off guard next, especially those coming from the big city life. They don't realize how much stress they're carrying from the harsh winter climate and the hustle culture up north. They get down here and it just melts away. Neighbors talk to each other. People wave when you drive by. There's a real sense of community that feels foreign if you've spent years in a city where you don't even know anyone in your building. Here, you can slow down and enjoy life. People who previously spent half of the year stuck inside feel like they've gained months of their lives back. That realization hits hard and is why so many people say that they wish they'd made the move sooner. The lifestyle recalibration happens fast. And then you wonder why you waited so long. Now, all of this sounds pretty great, and it is. Let me tell you what's happening in the market right now because timing matters. Here in the Charleston area, about 64% of homes are selling for below asking price. If you've been watching the Charleston market from New York and are waiting for the right time, this could very well be it. Here's why timing matters. The families who purchased in early 2022, who were waiting for that perfect moment, ended up paying $100,000 more for their home than they would have 6 months earlier because of the rapid appreciation happening at that time. We are definitely not in that market anymore, but let me tell you the advantage to the market we are in. Right now, inventory is up and buyers have actual negotiating power. You have leverage that you won't have forever. Sellers right now here are giving an average of $8,700 in concessions to buyers, which as a translation is money straight out of the seller's pocket into yours. You can put this right towards your closing costs, and that's less money out of your pocket at closing. Homes are selling after an average of about 76 days on the market. The market's recovery from pandemic lows signals a more balanced environment for buyers. With interest rates around the mid-sixes right now, it's historically really not a bad interest rate. Of course, we all want them to be lower. And when they do drop lower, like into the 5%, which could perhaps be in 2026, who really knows at this point, I think we're really going to see a lot more buyers come back into the market at that point, which means that competition will increase again. Also, the winter can be a great time to buy. I personally went under contract in January this year when I moved, because the sellers that are in the market over the winter are typically pretty motivated. No one enjoys selling during the holidays or in the lull of the post-holiday days of January, so you can tend to get a better deal and have better negotiating power this time of year, generally speaking. And you also have less competition because most buyers are also not in the market at this time of year. In sum, the migration numbers don't lie. People are trading stress, high costs, and brutal winters for a place where their money goes further and their quality of life improves immediately. Charleston isn't perfect, but for thousands of families making this move every year, it's exactly what they've been looking for. If you're serious about making this move, now is the time to act. The market has shifted in favor of buyers, but inventory in the best neighborhoods can sometimes still move fast. Reach out to me and my team today at hello@elevateteamcharleston.com. We help people relocate here all the time, and we'll make sure that you land in the right neighborhood at the right price. To learn more about the various suburbs here and which areas may be the best fit for you, make sure you check out this video, where I talk about the best and worst Charleston suburbs. Each serves different priorities, different budgets, and different lifestyle preferences. Understanding which matches your goals is the difference between loving your move versus regretting it 6 months in. Thank you so much for watching, and if you found this video helpful, please like the video and subscribe to the channel so that you can be the first one to know about all things Charleston. I'll see you in the next video.